Good evening and welcome to Optimize Your LinkedIn Profile. Thanks for logging in tonight. Thank you for being with us. Now, one of the things that I look forward to when I do these sessions is finding out where everybody is watching from around the world. Recent webinars, we've had people from 4, maybe even 5 different continents. So do me a favor tonight, as we're just letting people get time to settle in, get logged in and join us, drop your name in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what time is it where you are right now. Let's see who comes up tonight. So we've got a few people coming in there. So some people, Jim White is local to us in Paynton, back down here in sunny Devon. I'd like to say it was sunny, but it actually has been quite cold recently. We've got people coming in. Hello, Constance, Royce, Jim, Jody, and others. I'm not quite sure if you're saying hello to people or that you're all together watching tonight. If you are, welcome. Clearview Merchants, welcome from Knoxville, Tennessee. Hell's Kitchen, Wales, UK, Worcestershire, New York, Northants. So we're here in Europe, we're here in the US, 2 p.m. in New York at the moment. Cabo Verde, where we've got Cyprus, Oregon. I'm having a look, see how many people. Oh, Israel, I was just about to say we normally have a few people from Israel. Tunisia, welcome. North Carolina, Lebanon. I don't think we've seen anyone from Lebanon for a while, so welcome. Pakistan, welcome. What time is it in Pakistan? It's midnight in Pakistan. Thank you for staying up. I feel honored that you've even waited up to watch this. So I hope for you alone that I deliver something good and of quality that you can take away tonight. We've got people in Nigeria, Arizona. So I could go on and on. So, you know, keep them coming in. Caribbean islands, Great Dominican Republic. Oh, wow. So people really coming in. Even Dean from Dorking there in Surrey, Nathan from Suffolk. So it's great to see all you guys from the UK, across Europe, in Africa, right across into the Middle East there, and in America as well. I'm just keeping a lookout. People down in the Caribbean there. I normally get somebody from Brazil. I can never remember what the time zone is in Brazil, but there's normally 1 or 2 people that join us from Brazil as well. United Arab Emirates, welcome. Great to see everybody. So welcome tonight. It's good to have you with us and signing in tonight. Just in case, I'm just checking, but you're here for Optimize Your LinkedIn Profile. If you think it's anything else, you might be disappointed, but then again, you might not. You might have just stumbled into a webinar you weren't sure about, and you're about to learn a whole deal about your LinkedIn profile and how you can leverage it and use it on the platform. Okay, got some crazy person's just joined us called Mr. Dean Seddon from Plymouth. I don't believe he's still in Plymouth. He's actually our CEO, and I'm sure he's got home by now. So we've got a lot of good people going. This is really good. People from Nottingham, Colombia. There we go. South America's starting to get in. Oh, it's South America, Central America. I'm never quite sure. Colombia. I think that's at the top of South America. So great to have you all with us. I'm just checking out, seeing how many people are with us, all the different platforms and things that we run on, make sure everybody's starting to settle in. It's good. I normally take the hint as the comments start to slow down in the chat. That's normally the point when I know that most people have now joined us. Oh, suddenly a flurry of other people. Honduras. So we're now getting to Central America as well. So welcome, everyone. It's great to have you with us. We're going to spend the next, it might not take an hour to do this, but let's see how we go. And I'm quite open to Q&A towards the end and stay on just to answer a few questions. So let me just say, practically wise, if you have any questions, put it into the chat. I've got somebody moderating the chat. I've got a screen here just to my right that I can keep an eye on, and I'll do my best to answer your questions in the chat. If for any reason I don't get to your question, I miss it because sometimes the comments just go off screen and I miss that one, then you can contact us at hi@maverick.io. Hi@Maverick. Be careful of the spelling of Maverick. It's a little bit unusual. .io, and we will happily get an answer to your question. Also, you can use that email address. If I mention any assets, any PDFs or other documents that would be helpful to you, you can contact us on that email address and we'll happily get those things to you. So Here we are, we're 5 minutes in. Most people are now with us, logged in. I've given you the the information about getting in touch. So let me formally introduce myself. My name is Terry Heath. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Maverick. And I've been operating in the LinkedIn space for coming up 3 years now. I've been involved in lots of different things prior to doing this, but specialized in the LinkedIn space really in this last 3 years. And really, I've been on board and really influential in getting people active on this platform, but understanding how the platform works so you can leverage it for whatever reason you're here for. And on that note, who is the webinar for tonight? Well, simply put, it's anyone looking to sell products or services on LinkedIn, people who are looking to establish themselves in thought leadership on LinkedIn, and for those looking to be recruited on LinkedIn. Let's not forget, LinkedIn was originally set up as a recruitment platform. It still has a heavy presence, particularly in the US. There's still a strong aspect of LinkedIn being used for recruitment. So it's a great place to evidence who you are, your skills, your experience, get seen, and let prospective recruiters and employers find you. So I'm going to cover a bunch of things about your profile tonight that hopefully will help you position yourself on the platform to be noticed. So let me give you some facts about what has been happening and why LinkedIn has become such an influential platform. We all know, and I can't mention the word because if I do, it messes around with all the the stats and figures and stuff, but that C word thing, that keeps floating around that we've all had to deal with for the last almost coming up 2 years now. The influence of that and what it did to the business world meant that a lot of people were pushed to digital platforms. And what we saw was then that 80% of sales professionals shifted to virtual selling over the past 12, it's now even 18 months, 80%. You had traditional people who in the sales world would have gone from site to site, factory to factory, shop to shop, selling their wares, promoting and marketing what they do. They couldn't do that. They're now sat at home behind breakfast tables, dining room tables and back bedrooms. They've got to find a way of keeping selling, and that was the digital platforms. So a lot of people gravitated to LinkedIn. 80% of sales professionals did that. 57% of those sales professionals finding that social selling is more effective than the traditional approach. What that tells us is, and particularly the last stat of 46% of sales professionals expect to retain social selling beyond 12 months, people who have been pushed out of just the consequences of what happened onto a digital platform have had to learn fast. Some are still learning, and this is why we exist with the training. But they're learning now that there is a whole audience sitting on digital platforms which they can connect with, network with, and sell to. So we want to make sure that you're positioned to be one of the people that stands out, one of the people that has a voice on the platform, and we'll show you how you can do that through your profile. 62, just to give you some idea of the growth on the platform, 62 million users joined LinkedIn in 2020. And that growth is accelerating. I can tell you off the top of my head that I already know that the biggest age range on the platform, if I roll the clock back 12 months ago, was 35 to 55-year-olds. A year later, that has now dropped. We're looking at 25-year-olds to 50-year-olds. The age range dropping. Why? Is because a younger audience is coming to the platform. They're understanding there's a business opportunity to be had on this digital platform. So big growth happening. You want to be a part of it. So why? Simply, why is it important to optimize your LinkedIn profile? Why not just create something, put up some images up there, put some text in there, and then let's get on with the content side of it and get people noticing you through that way? Well, simply put, if you have a bad profile, a number of things are going to happen. You will limit your profile views. In other words, the number of people who are finding you on the platform, it's going to be very, very low. That's not what you want. You want people coming to your profile. You're going to hinder your search appearances. by having an incomplete profile. No header images, no profile picture, no description of who you are, no detail about your experience or anything else on your profile is going to hinder your search appearances. It will stagnate your connections, because when people come to your profile, if it's incomplete and there's not enough detail, why would they connect with you? There's not enough information for them to make a decision and choose to connect with you. It would also, if you're pushing your company and your products, it can damage your brand. A poor profile with poor quality imagery, no profile picture, names with lots of emojis in, all that sort of stuff can damage your brand, and ultimately would undermine your credibility. You want to have business conversations. You want to have networking opportunities. You want to be found by prospective employers. If you want that to happen, you need a good profile. So flip this around. What does a good profile look like? Simply put, a good profile, you will see an increase in profile views. You can go onto LinkedIn, go into your dashboard section, see how many people are visiting your profile. You'll see when you sort out your profile and you get it up to speed and you optimize it, it will naturally attract people coming and checking you out. They will get curious, they will come and have a look. It'll increase your search appearances. So the keywords that are evident in your profile suddenly become the key words that people are searching for. So depending what your product is, your industry is, your expertise is, or the types of areas that you want to be employed into, where you can find jobs, those keywords should be in your profile, so that when people are using them in searches, they're finding your profile. It will come up in the results of their searches, and that's what you want. You want to increase your connections. So of course, a good, attractive profile that delivers good information is far likely to be accepted when you put out the connection request and people get involved with you. You want that happening. Increase your brand awareness. Straightforward. A good profile should market your brand and give a good impression of who you are, the company that you're working for, the products and services that you offer. And it would increase your credibility. For people to be able to see complete information, understand who you are, what you do, of course that builds up a credibility. You want to be able to get people invested in being on your profile, learning things about you, and that helps to build up your credibility. They're looking to know, are you someone they can trust, whether you to be employed, to be networked with, or someone who's selling a product that they need. They need to know those things. So a good profile will help you do that. So, how does your LinkedIn profile work for you? Well, every time you post content, your face is there, your name is there, your headline, and of course the content. So if you're posting on a regular basis and people keep seeing your content presented in their feed, and I can give you a tip, if somebody likes, comments, or even just views your content once, the algorithm starts to work in your favor and will present your content in that person's feed the following day. So this is why I would encourage you post on a regular basis and let's get your content into someone's feed. What then happens is that the individuals will start reading your content, having a look at what you have to say. You get to evidence your expertise, why you're a good person to network with, why you might even be a prospective employee. They will then click on the image, your face, your profile picture that takes them to your profile. And now they're on your profile. That's what you want to happen. It's the same when you send connection requests. You might do this. Unless you're one of these people who just clicks accept, try saying that fast, accept. Most people will have a look and think, I don't know who this person is. Quick click on the profile. Are they of any interest to me? Would it be worth me connecting? So again, when that connection request lands, your profile should be ready for them to arrive, find out about you. Your profile will also work for you when you're leaving a comment. So if you're interacting with somebody's content on the platform, you're liking it, you leave a comment, you might even want to engage them. Let's say you're trying to promote and sell your products or your services. So you engage with someone you think, I'd love to have a business conversation with that person. So you engage with their content, and in that content you ask a question, because what you're looking to do is try and get a conversation going. That's a totally different webinar. But the action of doing that will promote that person to go, who's this? You know, I don't often get a lot of people on my content asking questions. They'll click on your profile and here they are again. And when you send a message, whether that be an in-mail message through Sales Navigator, you start to be connected and sending those messages to that individual, or you're in a group, obviously you can interact with people in LinkedIn groups as well. They're going to click on the profile because they're curious. Who is it? They want to know more about you because they're making that assessment. Are you worth investing time in? Is it worth connecting with you? Or if it's a recruitment side, okay, so I'm just reading some comments there just in case there was any questions, and getting everything in place. So when you're posting content, when you're sending your connection requests, when you're leaving comments, when you're sending your messages, it will promote people to come to your profile. So you want to be ready. You want to have it in place. I always say this, think of your LinkedIn profile as if it was your personal website. If you set up a website, you think about the imagery, you think about what it is that will draw the eye when someone first lands on it. What is the messaging that they engage with very quickly? What are you communicating? How are you selling yourself? This is what you want to do on your own profile. So when you're coming into your profile, and we'll talk now into what makes a good profile, then here's an example. This is mine. I recently updated mine, so I've just updated this one today for the presentation. Very simply, a good profile, this area here, this is your header image. This is a really big advertising board that you've got on LinkedIn. It's probably one of the biggest areas that you will have to market who you are. This area should, from a sales perspective, your company branding should be up there. Who you are, your company name, should have a statement about what you do so that when people come, this is the messaging that draws their eye. You'll visit many profiles and you'll see some good and bad, but you'll soon figure out what's good and what's bad. Of course, things with bright colors attract the eye, bold imagery, some of the different, we have a whole collection of different headers which I normally rotate around every 2 to 3 months. Some of them have bolder graphics on them. What I'm looking to do is when somebody lands on my profile, I want their eye to be drawn to here. There's our company. This is what we do. We're helping businesses grow their revenue, margin, and profit. It's very bold and in your face. This one is a very simple one. And I will even tailor my header to the audience that I want to engage with. It's that simple. I will design, and we've got our own design team, but I can quickly do it as well on platforms like Canva and other platforms where you can quickly create graphics that you can put in your header. If currently you've got this standard default LinkedIn background as your header, it's that pale blue, please, please, please get it updated. Even if it's just using some imagery that relates to your industry, your expertise, whatever it may be, let's get it up there and at least get your company name put on there. That would be the minimum. If you can, fully brand it up, get your word. When it comes to the wording on there, what is that one sentence, that one short sentence that you want people to remember when they leave your profile? So if you're looking to be employed, how do you describe yourself or who you do, or who you are, what you can do in one sentence? If you're selling a product, how can you put that in just a few words to let people know this is how you can help? If you're looking for networking opportunities, you want to become a leading thinker, what is that statement that would stand out, that would make people think and then want to engage further? So think about that on your header. Go and have a look around LinkedIn. It won't be long before you have a look. Look at some of the people with large followings on LinkedIn. They generally have good headers. They've done the work and built up their network, and they're already doing these good principles. Take some examples, do a little bit of research, and if you haven't got a header yourself, go design one. This image here. Now, what I normally say about this image is make sure this is, first of all, you. I do see all sorts of different things put in here, but you want a picture of you. They're going to interact with you. Whatever purpose you have for being on LinkedIn, they are going to connect with you at some point. So let them see your face. It helps them to warm towards you, helps them what's the word I'm looking for? It helps them to sort of get to know you a little bit. It's a more warmer approach if they see your face. Look to fill the frame. 50% of it should be your face, nice and large in there. Fill that frame out. Make sure that the background isn't too distracting, and try to avoid photographs from weddings and holidays and things like that. The best one I ever saw was this. Now we're talking of someone who was C-level in a company, whose picture was of him on a deck chair in his very skimpy shorts, with a cocktail in hand, just reclining. He thought it was nice to have his relaxed him on holiday. I did suggest he wasn't the slimmest of gentlemen, so I did suggest to him that's probably not the first image you want your prospects to see. He did see the funny side of it, thankfully, and got it changed. But I've seen all sorts that people have cropped themselves out of a group and used that as a picture because they like the picture. Well, the problem is there's a lot of activity in the background. There's half cut off faces on the left and the right. Look, most smartphones these days have a camera that is of a quality that is high enough for you literally to do a selfie. Set the camera up in front of you and just stand there. Plain background behind you, a pleasant smile, then take your picture and put it in. Just make sure it fills up and they can see you nice and clearly. Look down the camera. Unless you're a model or there's another reason for it, you know, don't start doing all of the, you know, artistic poses. Just look down the camera at the individual. It gives the impression you're looking at them. You're talking to them. That's what you want to communicate through this. So make good use of that. I've got a little bit of a coloured circle around mine. That just helps me stand out in people's feeds when my content is sitting in their feed. You can use that. You'll find some people have bright green, bright orange, bright yellow backgrounds. They've cut out the background and superimposed themselves on it. That works, again, because it obviously draws the eye, particularly in people's feeds and when you're around LinkedIn. So let's get the header sorted. Let's make sure we've got a good profile picture. The next part is here, your name, how that appears. I'm a great example of this. My birth name is Terence Paul Heath. If I put Terence Paul Heath, my full name on here, because I want that out there, that's officially what I'm called. But everywhere I go, I introduce myself as Terry Heath. Everybody knows me as Terry Heath. That's what they'll search for when they come to LinkedIn. Hey, I met this guy at this event, this networking event, or I was on the webinar last night. It's Terry Heath, Terry Heath, Terry Heath. That's what they'll put in, look for it. And they would struggle to find me because I'm actually recorded on LinkedIn as Terence Paul Heath. So make sure you're using the name everybody knows you by. If you're a Christopher and everyone calls you Chris and knows you as Chris, it's Chris, whatever your surname is. If you're a Deborah and everyone knows you as Debs, then it's Debs and whatever it is. Make it easy for people to find you. A quick name search is one of the easiest ways to be found, so let's make it simple for people. Another recommendation, don't be tempted to put your qualification lettering after your name or lots of emojis after your name. All you're doing is complicating the search option and for people to find you simply. There's various reasons why people do that. One, I think, as well, on a professional level, if you're wanting to make an impression, you've got unicorns and all sorts of happy smiley faces after your name. What impression are you putting over? Now, if your profession is a comedian, there may be a justification for it. But try not to. Keep it simple, just your name. Keep it simple, just your name. Underneath there, I've got a sentence there. So my title and the place I work is there, but it's very short. A lot of people, that's all they use this space for. It's their job title and the company they work for, and that's it. But actually, this, your profile picture, your name, and this headline follows you around LinkedIn, wherever you go. So use the space. Again, it's a bit like the one-liner in your profile. Make sure that what is in here very quickly tells people who you are, what you do. What is it that you can help people with? Advertise if you're looking to be employed. Use the space to describe the things that you do, how you do. Well qualified, experienced, SEO. I'm trying to make this up on the spot, but you get the impression. Mine, from effective lead generation to a full social selling strategy, Maverick is the UK's #1 social selling training and consultancy company. Simple sentence. I pack a lot into one sentence, but people who see me around LinkedIn and clicking on there, they're being drawn, they see that information very, very quickly. Now, at this point, let me mention, you will see on my profile here, it says talks about, and there's a bunch of hashtags. You might not see that on your own profile, and that's because there are two different types of profile on LinkedIn currently. There's the standard one, and then there's one that is the, and I always forget the name and it's just slipped my mind right now, is the creator mode. Now, creator mode was introduced a number of months ago by LinkedIn. One of the things you need to know about LinkedIn, it is a content-starved platform. Less than 1% of users globally contribute any type of content to the platform in a 30-day period. Less than 1%. 800 million users now on LinkedIn, and less than 1% of them are contributing content in a 30-day period. So LinkedIn introduced something called content creator mode. The idea behind creator mode is that when you switch that on, and I'll show you in a minute when I go into a live demo, you go into your profile, you'll see the option to turn it on. There's a few boxes to fill in and a few bits of information to put in there. But once it's turned on, you'll find that LinkedIn helps to promote the content that you create, hence why it's called creator mode. I've tested this out, and on average, I'll probably get, now I've got a large network, granted, but I normally attract anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 extra views on my content purely by having creator mode on. If you've got a smaller network that's maybe under 1,000 people in there, you'll see the difference between 200 to 300 extra views on your content. Every view is valuable when it comes to content. So think about turning it on. It lets people know what you talk about. So again, there's aspects of your profile, SEO factors, keywords and hashtags that are in there. The contact info as well. Make sure you're putting your contact info. If you want to make your email available, one I would say is don't make your personal email available, but your work email, yes. If people want to contact you directly about a product or service you have, you want to make that option available. Be aware though that there are people who scrape platform like any other social media platform, so you might attract, I get the odd one or two in a week where it's people pushing services and products my way because they found my email through here. For the sake of 2 or 3 a week, it's not an issue to make sure that people can find me. Okay, I'll go, as I said, I'm going to go into live LinkedIn and go through this, but I just wanted to detail out. This is my about section. Now, on here, you can see that I have purposely spaced out my about section. I have also purposely made sure that my company is talked about first and then me second. And there's a reason behind that. Now, my profile is set up from a sales perspective. So I want to talk about us as a company and what we do, and then a little bit about my experience. If you're looking for this in recruitment terms, you would flip that around. In fact, you might not have any company information on there at all. You talk about yourself. But what I want to point out is the way that it's structured. It's very easy to read and engage with. You don't have to concentrate very hard. If I was to squash all of this into 2 paragraphs, what you will find on social media is where people have big blocky paragraphs of 4, 5, 6 lines, people subconsciously switch off almost immediately. Why? Is because there's a mental assessment that takes place within milliseconds. I see a block of text and I think, I have to actually focus and read line by line and not get lost off where I'm at. Why would I do that? They'll move on. Break it up. It's a micro commitment as they're moving down because it's just 1 sentence. It's 2 lines, maybe 3 at the most. That's my longest one in here. Another one here, 3. Where I've got grouped up things, you'll notice I'm using some emojis just in there, almost just to point, like bullet points. They bring headlines to point out, just this is my achievement section to get out there. But the principle is structure it so it's easy for people to engage with. You want to deliver information, so don't make it hard for people to engage with it. Make sure it's laid out nice and easy that they can do that. Reference your company if it's about you wanting to be an influential voice, you wanting to be pushing towards sales and marketing. If it's in the area of recruitment, then you're using most of this to talk about you and your past experience and your expertise. Don't go over top. I have down here, avoid overuse of emojis. That's pretty much a general rule on LinkedIn wherever you go, in your content, your profile, your messaging. Just be aware of it. It's not Facebook, but it is a social platform. And there's a little bit more of a business ethic to it. So try not to overdo it. I've seen some profiles where, oh my goodness, it seems like there's an emoji in every sentence that they've written. And again, unless you know, you're a children's entertainer or you're a comic or something like that and there's a reason for it, I would avoid it and keep it simple. Let people read the information and deliver it well. Okay, working down from there, we've now got the featured section. Now in the featured section, this is your marketing board. You get to talk about and give articles. This one here is a slide deck, 5 essential ways to achieve organic business. And that is there. And so if people want to find out more about us, Maverick, and what we do and the different ways that we work with companies, one of the documents they can click on is this. And it'll take them straight into a PDF which they can download or just click through online. And they'll learn some things through there. The next one is actually our website. So if they're clicking on there, this will take them straight to the website. I've got other ones which is just off screen there, is one of the courses that we run to get involved. The featured section, I've seen it used in many different ways. So depending what your purpose is, if you're looking to be employed, testimonials about you and your work that you've done with clients and customers are great in this section. Case studies of the work that you've done work really well. Case studies also work well for your company perspective and branding, as if you're in the sales marketing. If you're looking for thought leadership, then loading up articles in this section, blogs that you've done, things like that, that evidence your expertise in a certain area, that's all of value. But what I would say is on your featured section, you may need to go to the top right-hand corner to actually turn it on if it's not visible right now, and populate it with at least 3 things. If you've got your own company website, it's as simple as putting your website link in there. It'll replicate then whatever the landing page image is on here, and the click-through will be straight to your website. So look at that, use that. A lot of people don't have the features turned on, and if they do have it on, they'll have one thing in there. Don't miss that opportunity. People who are checking you out will look at this section. And again, imagery plays a part. What draws the eye, what pulls people in to engage with it. Your experience section, again, don't overfill this. Some people I've seen will have PDFs, they may have case studies of achievements that they've done, things that they've done with companies that pertain to certain roles they've had in a company. Fill this section out. Don't be scared to put your back. If you come right down on mine, you might be surprised to find out that I was a congregational pastor in a church at a point in my life. And so that still speaks to who I am. People get an idea of what I've done in the past, where I've been, where my involvement. In fact, if you go on my profile and go back, you'll even find other things where I've been involved in fundraising and in export in my career. But here clearly is my most present career and my opportunities and places that I'm working at right now. So have that evident. Let people see that. It gives them a picture of who you are, how long have you been doing this, where your experience lies. But again, set it out nice and clear for people to engage with, and it helps to enforce who you are, particularly from a recruitment perspective on this section. So I'm going to go into some, just into the live LinkedIn and just spend some time in there. But I just wanted to point out the dashboard, and I'm going to show this live, but there's 2 versions of the dashboard running around. You'll hence the old style and new style. Some of you might see your dashboard shown like this at the moment. Other people are starting to see the update that LinkedIn is putting in. There's a lot of updates happening in the background on LinkedIn at the moment. So some of the information is being presented in a different way. So when I'm talking about the dashboard tonight, It might be shown as the analytics section now on your profile, or you might still have this one. Either way, one of the things, if you've got this one of the things it will show is this. Now on mine, I've got an all-star status. What that means is I've completed my profile. I've done all the different levels and different things it's asked me to do, my experience, populating, putting some content up, all the different things, my hashtags, all of those sort of things are now in place, and it's all complete. And it says, congratulations, you're now all-star. If you've got the old style, you might find that you've got a number of blocks. If I remember, it's been a while since I've seen it, but it's about 5 or maybe 6 different blocks, colored blocks, and you might have 3 of them filled in and there's a couple left to do. Get them completed, get that up to all-star status. The reason why, when you come to start posting content on LinkedIn, all-star status works in your favor. If your profile is incomplete, it's almost like the algorithm looks at your profile and goes, well, you're not serious about LinkedIn. You haven't even finished and completed your profile. Therefore, what you have to say is diminished slightly. And you actually see the effect on the reach of your content. Once you hit all-star status, you see an uplift in the amount of views you will get on your content. So let's get all-star status sorted. Let's get all the elements of your profile in place so that it's showing that. So let me now switch into LinkedIn, and I want to show you some information. So there's a bunch of information. Right, let me come out of this. It's not letting me out. Come on, right, where is LinkedIn? Okay. Let me just drop these out of the way. Let me go to my profile. Okay. So here we go. This is my profile. Yours will look very similar. If you're in the US, you might start to see the new rollout, and it's starting to look slightly different. One of the key things to point out is that I've already got the creator mode turned on. So it's advertising the things that I talk about, providing services. I get to talk about the different things there. But you'll notice that a traditional standard LinkedIn profile, it says how many connections. Here it's saying how many followers. LinkedIn would like to promote this on creator mode, because if someone follows you, then they get to see your content on a regular basis. So the first step when you turn on creator mode is it will promote people to follow you before they become connected to you. In a sense, there's a natural cost to that. If they're looking at who you are, they choose to follow you, they're checking you out. What is your content? What do you talk about? Showing your expertise. Is it worth them actually connecting with you so you can have a two-way conversation through the messaging? So you'll see that shown as followers. Let me just scroll down. Go past. Now, as you'll see on my profile now, I've now got the new one. I don't know how many people yet in the UK have seen this. This has only shown up in the last week on mine. Up until that point, I had the old version of the dashboard. The information that's presented is basically the same. We're looking at the profile views, the post views, and the search appearances. What I would say about this is do not ignore this information. Simply because if I go into profile reviews, if I've done all of this work around my profile, and I've made sure that all of the keywords are in there, I'm describing myself well, my imagery is good and catches the eye, all of that work, I want to know, is it bearing the right fruit? In other words, are the right people coming to my profile? Am I attracting the right people that, if it's sales, that I would like to have a business conversation with? If it's for influence and networking, are the right sort of people in the right sort of industries starting to be interested in checking me out? If it's for employment through the recruitment side, then am I attracting the right employers? The right level of people within an organization that will make a decision about recruitment. So looking on here, the first thing to point out is you're given a 90-day window of the interaction with your profile. These are people who land on your profile. Remember, treat it like your personal website. Let's get them invested and involved in what you have to say and show. You should see a trend. So if you go away from here, you put everything into place and you get a good profile up and running, what you should see is low numbers here, and then the graph will naturally go upwards. In fact, if you get your profile right and if you've never posted content before, you start posting content 3 to 5 times a week, you will see where you start, and then there'll suddenly be a sharp uptake of people coming to your profile. Content will promote people to come to your profile. So have a look at that. What's more interesting beyond that is that if I go down the page now, depending whether you have the free LinkedIn or you have a premium package will determine what you see next. I've got Sales Navigator license, and so I'm a subscriber on the platform as well. So I get to see, and I can keep scrolling on here, back weeks and weeks and months, and it will show me over and over again all of the people that come and visit my profile. What I would do on a regular basis, if I've got access to all of this data, is I make it a daily habit. I go and have a look. Who's coming to my profile on a regular basis? So we've got people here, digital marketing, educational consultant, building a new life for myself brick by brick, so I'm not quite sure what she does, a web designer, LinkedIn coach. Oh, I'm being stalked. LinkedIn coaches, more than welcome. There's more than enough people in the world. Richard, if you're on here and you're on the webinar tonight, it'd be great to connect. I love to connect with other LinkedIn coaches and just share stuff. But, you know, I'm looking to see who is coming. What I normally look for, and I know that at the moment, the people who have probably been checking me out are people associated with this webinar and with some of the connection I did this week. Director of Managed Services here. These are the sort of people I'm looking for, the directors, the executives, because I normally connect with people higher up, the C-suite and above in an organization, because that's where I want to have conversations about their social selling strategy and things like that that I do in day-to-day business. So keep an eye on. If you are wanting to be recruited and you keep finding there's people like car mechanics or window cleaners coming here, something's wrong with your profile. You're not attracting the right people. If the people who are coming are lower level employees in a company's entry levels, maybe up to supervisor, and you're thinking they're not quite the people that I need to be connecting with from a recruitment perspective, I want the managers, I want the more senior people, maybe even up to director level, people who are headhunting and looking for individuals. That's who I want to see in my profile. From a sales perspective, who is coming and checking you out? Again, who are the decision makers within the companies and the sort of areas of industry you'd expect coming? Go use this information. It informs you if you're attracting the right people. The other area to look at, and let me just skip back into the profile. If I come back down to the analytics section, is the search appearances. So predominantly these are the people sitting on Sales Navigator doing searches. Some of them will be more informal searches that are happening on LinkedIn, but predominantly it is people who are on Sales Navigator. Now there's keywords in your profile, and depending what these people are searching for, the keywords are showing up in their search and you're appearing in their lists. So who's looking? Who's finding you? We do this all the time, so obviously Maverick is top. I'm appearing in our own lists all the time. Sales Enablement Society. I've not actually had them appear on my profile before, so I'm very interested to find that I'm appearing in their lists, but it's a Sales Enablement Society, so it's an area of industry that is related to what I do. It makes sense. The Sales Hacker think tanks, again, Rev Genius, I know these guys, and so Sales Hacker is quite news to me as well, but the sort of people who are finding me are the people who are in my industry, the sort of people I'd expect to see. Go and have a look on yours. Who's finding you? From a recruitment perspective, who are the sort of companies that are finding you? Look at, if you look further down on your profile, go right to the bottom, here we go. What do the searchers do? These people who are running these searches that have found you, who are they? Business strategists, salespeople, executive directors, founders, and marketing specialists. All the people I would expect to see finding me in searches, all the sort of people I would be interested in connecting with and having conversations with. So have a look at that information. It will inform you about what's happening on your profile. If you're not seeing the right people, the right roles, the right companies, then you need to update your profile. Look at your About section, look at your headline, reword it, and get yourself positioned better so that people are finding you on this platform. What time is it? Right, 45. We've got 15 minutes. Let me have a quick look. Would you be willing to share a link? Let's see what picture you're referring to. Okay, so just... okay, I'm trying to figure out what... There seems to be a conversation. Anna Dust. Would you be willing to... I'm not quite sure what that's about. I obviously missed the start of that thread. That wasn't to you, I've just been told, so I'll move on. Is there a maximum to what you should put in the featured section? I think if I go to my feature section, I think if I got 5 in there at the moment. I normally 3 to 5 is effective enough. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 in there. Sorry, 7 altogether. There are 7 in my section there. So again, I've got a mix. So I've got a mix of courses, high-performing posts, courses that we do. There's even one of our ebooks, How to Write Content That Converts, Social Selling Essentials as well, which is a personal handbook for social selling, which is a giveaway. Click on that, go through, and you can get a download of that. So there's a mixture of content on there, but the purpose of that content, whatever they connect with, evidences something about what we do, whether it's a high-performing post that talks to the subject matter we deal with, the the website link that takes them straight to our page, links to specific courses and programs that we run that address social selling, sometimes profile optimization, all the different things that we do. They're all in there. So I've got 7. I normally would be around about that. 3, 5, 7, 20 plus, forget it. You know, who's going to actually scroll through and engage with all that? Most people, attention span, they'll probably get through 3 to 5, and then they may give up after that. Okay, any other questions? Right, looking down. Will you be doing any live optimization? Well, it's hard to evidence the optimization live because you need to look at your results, Austin. But essentially, you need to be formatting the way you format your profile, the wording you put into the profile, the imagery you're using, all adds up to the optimization. It adds up to baseline. Will people engage with you? Will they find you and will they engage with you? That's the bottom line. That's what you're looking to achieve on LinkedIn. So whether it's for sales, thought leadership, or recruitment, I want to be found and I want them to engage with me. So again, make sure that all the specific things, the keywords, whatever relates to your area of sales and product and the people you want to connect to, the keywords need to be in there. If you're looking to be recruited, what are the keywords that a recruiter would be looking for, that an employer would be looking for? What are the qualifications, the things that need to be put into your profile so that people can find you, then read more detail about who you are and your experience? Is this going to stay up on YouTube for replay? Yes, it is, Sergio. You will get the replay and you'll be able to click through to it. We'll make sure that it's still available. My profile is All-Star and I post quite regularly, but I'm starting to see a decline in my reach. How do I get back in the algorithm's good books? Judah, right, first thing, right now is a horrible time of year to be posting content. LinkedIn's making a bunch of updates on the platform. And what we've seen over the years when this happens, and it's normally around this time of year in November, LinkedIn starts to tweak with the platform. As they're doing that, the algorithm is affected. So the algorithm doesn't work as favorably towards you. And even we, the professionals that do this day in and day out, have seen a drop in our views on our posts. Don't worry about it, because as we go towards the end of the year, you'll see that start to rise again naturally, and in January, you'll see the uplift coming back to normal levels. So don't worry about it. If it's something that remains consistent and you think, wow, I'm 3 months, 2 months down the line here, I'm getting nowhere near. I used to get 5,000 views per post, now I'm getting 1,500. Think about the content that you're putting out on the platform. Here's a tip. Use the principle that we call the content sandwich. Use a post that's highly engageable. So you might share something from a trusted source like a CNN or a Forbes or an entrepreneur.com, trusted sites. When you bring that content in, content-starved platform, looking for good quality content, bring that into LinkedIn. The algorithm recognizes the source, knows it's trusted, and will actually actively promote it. So if you can also use LinkedIn polls, highly engaging things right now. LinkedIn polls are huge for getting engagement. I put up a poll just last week, got me over 330,000 views on a poll. Go and check it out on my profile, you'll see it. It was a simple poll about Christmas and putting up a Christmas tree, but I gathered an audience of 330,000 people. What happens with that audience is the algorithm says, okay, you like Terry's content, therefore I'll show you whatever he posts on the following day. So I bring that audience across. Now, not all of that audience will engage with it. Why? Because the subject matter that I deal with on the second day is different. It's more of a niche because I'm now talking to businesses about social selling. So a lot of people will just switch off and go, oh, that's not for me. Christmas is a broad subject. Putting up your Christmas tree, have you done it, have you not, whatever, is a broad subject. Talking about social selling as a part of your sales strategy is a narrow subject, so a lot smaller audience. But I'm bringing in an audience from the previous day that will engage it, which means it can be the difference from a normal post for me, anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000. Bring an audience of that size in, we'll promote it up to at least 10 to 12,000. So use the content sandwich if you're seeing that problem. Do you recommend a Sales Navigator, James? Yes, but you need to know what you're doing with it. The problem with Sales Navigator is a lot of people sign up for the 30-day program. They get it, they have a go, and then they go, I'm not sure what it's all about. I didn't see much benefit. There's a lot that you need to understand and how you can really use the platform to target your ideal audience, your ideal clients, and then track their activity, track your interaction with them and using that platform. If you want to know more about that, come and get in touch with me. I can throw a couple of videos. We did a session called, what was it now? It was Business Development with Sales Navigator a few months ago. It's a free webinar. You'll pick up a lot of tips and hints about Sales Navigator. And if you haven't done the free trial, watch that first, then get your 30 days and you'll prove to yourself. Okay, let's have a quick look down. Is it better to post or comment or both? James, post. It's your voice. If you post, it's your voice. If you don't post, people won't, in a sense, hear you. If you don't speak, no one will listen. So you can comment on other people's posts, but normally you do that to get their attention, to interact with that individual. And normally from a sales perspective, that's to get their attention. From being a leading thinker perspective, commenting on other people's is that, again, you're showing your expertise, but be careful because some people see that as like, who's this clever clogs that just showed up trying to like undermine what I've already said. It can come across the wrong way. But when you're posting your own content, you're in control. So you get to post your content, your imagery, whatever articles, blogs you want to link to, using polls, all of those sort of things. So I would encourage everybody on LinkedIn, whatever your purpose is, post content. It drives the most traffic to your profile. Should we avoid posting content for now until January then? No. Post. I will post right up till Christmas on a regular basis. Yes, I'll have a few days off. I'll normally put up more social posts on LinkedIn. Something that shows people who I'm at. I'm enjoying Christmas. I'm going to be with family. There'll be a couple of personal posts, I would call them, that will go up over Christmas. And then between the Christmas and New Year period, I'll have a couple of posts that are still business centric. I just want to plant some ideas in people's minds, get them thinking about something that might promote a conversation in January. So just think of it like that. Let's have a look. Question. Why only 3 hashtags? good question. Slightly off topic from profile optimization, but to answer your question, on LinkedIn, the LinkedIn algorithm only indexes the first 3 hashtags that you put on a post. So if you go putting loads and loads and loads, if you try the Facebook or the Instagram principle or some of the other social platforms, you just have reams of hashtags underneath. One, that projects the image image. On LinkedIn, that's perceived as looking a little bit desperate. You're just desperate for everybody and anybody to try and connect with you. What you actually need is just simply 3 hashtags. A little bit about advice about hashtags. A lot of people will use the hashtag for their company. Why? I want to get recognized. But nobody's following the hashtag. Not even your CEO follows your company hashtag, we find. What you want to do, think of hashtags as if it was a label on a conversation. The next question you need to answer then is, which conversations do I want to be a part of? The simple answer to that is, which conversations are my prospects involved in? That's a sales perspective. Which conversations are the people that the audience I wish to speak to as a leading thinker? They're the hashtags you want to use. If you want to know what those hashtags are, go look at your prospects. Go look at their posts. Where do they position themselves? Where is their content being positioned as far as the hashtags they're using? You want to sit alongside them in that conversation. So hopefully that clears that up. Where did we go? Thanks for answering both the questions. Why do articles receive far fewer views than posts? My posts get around about 2,000 to 3,000, but articles are in there. Purely because articles require people's attention span to work through it. And it's a social media platform, people just won't engage. They'll read your first paragraph and that's it. They're moving on to the next thing. Articles do have value. They have value posted on your company page, posted on your profile, because they sit in a separate section. I don't know if I'll be able to quickly show you, but it sits in a separate section. So whereas posts, in a sense, are in an order and they just disappear, if you have 1 or 2 articles, there's a separate section where they sit on your content. Go and have a look at my activity and you'll see that it sits on its own. So that's the point where you position 2 or 3 articles that speak at length about your knowledge base, your expertise, and they sit there for a long period of time. Over a long period of time, you'll find they get more engagement, but they're still never going to get what a general post would do, purely because it's too long for people to read and engage with on their morning commute, after lunch, on an evening where they're sitting at home. People just don't want to spend that much time. How to engage friends on LinkedIn. I'm not quite sure what you mean by how to engage friends or find friends. If you know their name, you would search them and go them. Yeah, I'm not really sure what you mean by the question. If you want to put something else in there, I'll come to it. James, the third element of your sandwich. Very correct. I mentioned get high engagement, then position your post. Then what you need to do is the high engagement again. And then I would follow that with another post. My regular pattern of posting on a week is Monday morning, high engagement piece. Tuesday, business focus. Wednesday, high engagement again, then business focus again. Friday, I can do what I want with that post. It's a bit of a throwaway. It can be something personal. I can hit on a topic, again, in my industry. I might share something that's a news article that relates to the industry sector that I'm in. Anything like that, I use that. How would you recommend optimizing your LinkedIn profile when you want to remain open to future job opportunities, but at the same time, brand yourself for potential customers in your side business? Okay, so if I'm reading this right, there's a little bit of a conflict here, because you're promoting what you're doing and where you've got an income source, but at the same time, you want to try and engage a future employer where you might secure obviously a higher income working directly for them. It's all about you evidencing your expertise. Now, I don't know what the side business is, your side hustle, as we call it here, but if it relates to what you do and what you'd like to be recruited for, that itself becomes your advertising board, your marketing board for who you are and what you can do. So just go for it. absolutely go for the side hustle, the side business, build it up. You might be surprised that might become the full-time thing. If not, what you're doing is evidencing your ability. One is to operate in this area of business. Two, I'm assuming that you're marketing yourself and doing any sales yourself. These are all aspects that a future employee will be interested in. People headhunt on LinkedIn all of the time. And if they see people with skills, they want them to come and work for them, regardless of what they're actually doing right now. It can be as brutal as, we want that person, because what do we see them doing is exactly what we need in our company. So go for it. How often would you advise a person to post? This may shock you and scare you, but I would say every single working day. I post 5 days a week, and occasionally I'll put up a personal post on a weekend. My habit of doing that is I've got into the regular practice now where it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to put together a post. Although in truth, I schedule a lot of my posts now. I'm writing them over a weekend. Here in the UK, we have things called the Bake Off and Strictly Come Dancing. They're not my favourite programme. So if it's on in my house, I just open my laptop or I've got an iPad and I quickly put some ideas together on post and I schedule them for the week ahead. So I would say post every single day. You create momentum when you do that. The content sandwich principle works for you because you've got a consistent daily practice, and so you can pull your audience across the week with you. Where are we at? Is posting one article a week better than posting short form content 3 to 5? No, it's not. Posting will always beat article. Every single time. Article just verifies who you are, evidences your expertise. When people get really interested in who you are and what you have to offer, they have to find the article and then read it. They have to have real purpose to want to engage in it, and they're looking to literally tick box who you are, what you do, and you would be a good person to talk to about an issue or a problem. Your content on a daily basis will drive more activity on your profile, get you found more on the platform, and you'll be discovered more through your content than you would any day through an article. Do you recommend using emojis in everyday posting? I'm not a great fan of emojis, but I do use them occasionally. I use emojis as like bullet points quite often, or I would have an emoji where I just want to illustrate that the statement I just said is a joke. I'm being provocative with a statement, so I'll put a happy smiley. But it'll be one emoji. I wouldn't populate all the way through my post with lots and lots of emojis, because I think people just get to the point where I think we've just lost our screen. I'm just conscious now that the guy in our desk is doing this all over the place trying to get a screen. Don't worry about it. We'll have Netflix up in a second. Oh, lovely background. There we go. Who wouldn't want to be there? I'm distracting myself now. But emojis. Use them occasionally, again, but have a purpose for putting them in there. Don't just populate it because you're trying to attract attention. Do articles getting found? Do articles help getting found in Google searches in any way? Yes and no. On this platform, it isn't the greatest way. There are far better methods and things that you can use on LinkedIn where a Google search would find you. Obviously, who you are, your area of business is key. Obviously, your name as well. Someone searching my name will quickly find me on Google search. You can do it yourself. You'll see what it brings up very, very quickly. Normally, it's my LinkedIn profile that shows up first. Questions: how far in advance do you plan your content? For me, I'm normally writing my content on a weekend for the week coming. So I'm 2-3 days ahead. Occasionally I do get that little brainwave, that spark of, I'd like to say genius, but it's never quite genius. But that little bit of inspiration for a thought. Occasionally I come off calls with clients and I think the topic we just talked about is common to a lot of people. So I go away and I'll spend 10 minutes quickly writing a post about it, and I'll schedule it into my content. But depending how organized you are, I'm fairly organized, so I like to get ahead on the week. Some people I know have a whole month of content planned out. If you can be that organized, then go for it. But remember, have some flexibility about your content, because there's certain things that happen that you might want to interject into topics of conversation, news articles, and things that are happening, current affairs, that you can take advantage of as well. How to make a profile picture visible to others. Should I make it visible on other apps like Google? I am searching for a job. Go check your LinkedIn profile, the public page area, and you'll see that it gives you a representation. If someone was to search you by name and they say this person is on LinkedIn, they click, it shows them a public profile. What information is available on there, and you'll see how your picture is represented. But make sure, just rule about your profile picture, just make sure your face is fitting 50% of that frame. I see so many people where they love their photograph of them in front of Niagara Falls, but they're a pin dot in the picture and the huge water behind. The water's not what they came to find. It's you. They need to see your face. You want to be warm, friendly, and approachable. So make sure you've got a good picture on there. PDFs or images in a post. What do you see is better for engagement? Right. PDFs work really well for engagement, simply because, I'm just conscious we've already run over time, but I'll quickly answer a couple more questions before we finish. But PDFs on posts work really well. Why? If you've got 5 or 6 pages, naturally people are clicking through the pages, reading what's on them. Now, as long as you don't do War and Peace on every page, you're literally looking at 2 or 3 lines of text on each page, and you're taking them through a journey or a story, the people stay on there. Now, you've got them on your post for a length of time. The algorithm measures that. How long does someone spend on your post? So depending how you structured it, long form posts work really well because you get people into the conversation of your post. PDFs work well because they stay there and flick through the various slides. YouTube, just a smartphone doing a 30-second video, people engage with that. Why? Because it's you, and they're intrigued to know, what do you sound like, what do you look like in real life, not just the nicely Photoshop picture that they're seeing. What do you actually look like in real life? We all get curious about that, and so people will engage with that. LinkedIn polls are very good as well for engagement. Let's have a quick look down. Plan to prepare or prepare to fail? Absolutely, Jody. Thank you so much. I think that's everything. Oh, one last one. When you say post, are you referring to a picture post or some writing or long post? When I say post, I just mean you loading some content into your feed each day. That post, as I've just mentioned, could be a LinkedIn poll, could be PDF slide deck, could be a video, could be text only. I've had high engagement on text only posts because it creates a conversation. Here's a tip. If your content doesn't create a conversation, there's no reason for someone to get invested in it, to stay with it. Ask questions. Get people subliminally, subconsciously involved in the conversation of your post. Ask them, do you think this is? I recently found out, working with clients, blah, 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 that the results were A, B, and C. Is this something similar that you've experienced? What you've done is you're addressing the individual now, you're speaking to them, and now they're investing some time in because they're answering the questions that you put in your post. You then have a call to action on the bottom, and you've got something that is resembling a successful post. Obviously, it depends on what the subject matter is, and people will engage with it. So engage people's intellect on your posts. Don't just make statements, because people who put out content that just says, hey, this is, if I was to do this, we are Maverick. We are #1 in the UK for social selling. You should come and talk to us. Here's testimony. Nobody cares until I've now addressed, you've got a need in your business. Your sales are down. That's the result of the limitations we've had in the last couple of years. Are you using social selling? Is this something you've tried but failed at? Is this something that your team have really struggled to get to grips with? If it is, here's a free PDF, a link that will help you some simple tips. And if you'd like a further conversation about that, get in touch with me. No commitment. I'd love to help if we could. Simple posts like that, I've done numerous times, and it creates conversations. I will target people who are sales directors and directors in business, even the finance community, because they're looking at the numbers and they need it up. They're the sort of people that go, hey, can we have a quick conversation? Social selling, I need to get my head around what that means, how it works, what is the process behind it. And I'll happily spend 15, 20 minutes on a call and let people know about that. Now, I've lost the screen at the back, but I actually had a final slide. I'm not sure if it was my laptop that went to sleep. It was. I'm getting in trouble now because I've ignored my laptop for so long it went to sleep. So there was nothing on the screen behind me. My fault. My final slide was to tell you about, we've got some boot camps coming up in 2022. We've been running 2 boot camps, a LinkedIn and a content boot camp throughout 2021. Have been highly successful. Lots of people have been through them and have spoken very highly of them. We're expanding it next year. We'll be doing a LinkedIn boot camp, a content boot camp, a webinar boot camp. If you've never done business development using webinars, you need to jump on this one because they are very lucrative. And then we're also doing a sales boot camp. We'll actually take you through some tips and strategies that work very well on not just LinkedIn, but other platforms as well. Go to our Eventbrite page. You'll see that LinkedIn and the content boot camps are already up there. Go check them out. We'd love to for you to spend time there. 5 weeks series, 1 hour each, and we'll walk you through everything you need to know to make LinkedIn work for you and content that you can use and create to really engage your audience and promote sales leads. So, big breath. That's it for tonight. Thank you for everybody that's stayed with us. Thank you for everybody who's joined around the world. It's been a pleasure to be with you again. Please come and engage with us. Check out our company page on LinkedIn, Maverick. Remember, it's got an unusual spelling. Come and follow the company page. Keep up to date with the other webinars that we'll be doing. We've got, I think, webinars running up till the 2nd week of December, all free. Any information you can take away from it, you're more than happy to have and use. And we look forward to seeing you on LinkedIn. Come and find me. I've still got a few hundred places left in my connections. I'd love to be connected with you all. So have a good evening or good morning or good night. The person who joined me from, I think it was Pakistan at midnight, thank you for staying up so late. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you have a good night's sleep and enjoy tomorrow. So for now, goodbye.
Last year, Maverick has helped generate more than 15 million in new business. The biggest reason for this is our 90-day training and implementation platform we call the Accelerator Program, where we teach your team to sell on social media with an implement